I have just returned from Delhi, and immediately on my arrival from Delhi, I had a meeting with our DG, ADG, and ADG Law and Order regarding the recent incidents that took place in Shillong. You are all aware that in the last few weeks, there have been a number of incidents where certain locations, IED bombs were planted in East Cheristerfield Hills as well as in Shillong, where the incident that took place in Shillong, certain individuals were also injured. After the incidents that took place in East Cheristerfield Hills, inquiry had started into individuals who were involved in this, and the police had made all-out efforts to find the people involved and take appropriate steps to ensure that these don't happen in the future. But in the process, many people were arrested. And while that happened, again on 10th of August, we had an incident in Laimukra, in a very, very busy market area or locality where a blast took place. After that blast took place, the police had intensified the investigations that were taking place. After going into a large amount of information and doing detailed investigation, the police had found credible and tangible evidence of involvement of large number of people, including the individual who died a few days back. Based on this credible information, the police had made their strategy on how to move forward. In the meantime, from multiple agencies, we received credible information that another attempt was going to be made in the next few days in Shillong. And this is not just our agencies, but other agencies also. Once those agencies and our own information and intel gave us the threat of another attempt, which would then definitely risk the lives of the citizens of our state, the police decided to move swiftly in order to ensure that no other incidents take place in Shillong or any other part of the state. And in the process, they moved forward to make an arrest. It was never the intention of the police to harm any individual. But in the process, if the arrest was made, it would rather be in the interest of the police department, as they would be able to get more credible information on other networks that possibly are there. But as you're aware, that the circumstances led to the unfortunate incident that happened a few days back. The SP has submitted the report, which is as per mandated by the National Human Rights Commission, within 48 hours. After this report is submitted, There will be a magisterial inquiry, which also is under process, and that report will be submitted. And based on that, the National Human Rights Commission will look into the matter and inquire the matter. I felt that it is important at this point in time that we appeal to everybody that at this point in time we must maintain peace in Shillong City and in the state as a whole. Whatever the police or whatever the government is doing is in the interest of the safety of the citizens of the state. And therefore, once again, I appeal to everybody that we must maintain law and order and we must maintain peace in the state and in Shillong City. So I am open to questions if you have any. Thank you very much.
Can you tell us what is the content of the SP's report?
I don't have that report with me. It's been given to the Human Rights Commission. So I guess the procedure will be followed. But that report is not there with me as of now. As I said, I came back. So I had this initial meeting, but I felt it necessary that I must meet the press. It will be done by the government. And then after that, the inquiry, as I said, once it's done, it will be submitted to the National Human Rights Commission, which will then further take up the matter at their level. The National Human Rights Commission is an independent and autonomous body, and the reports and the inquiry that we submit are only the facts that we submit to them. So the National Human Rights Commission is the appropriate body to look into this, and they are very much autonomous. Once they submit their report, we can decide on how to move forward. But the procedure requires us to submit the reports to the National Human Rights Commission. There was no particular lapse as such. As I said, these are situations that are there, and what happened was unfortunate. But the intention, as I said, was to clearly arrest and the person involved, and because that would then lead to more information that would have come in. So it would be in the interest of the police and the agencies. So therefore, there was no intention in that line, and it was clearly. So therefore, that's what happened. As I gave in my opening remarks to everybody, that the police had made a strategy to move in a certain way. But then when the intel came to the police from their own agencies and from other agencies also, that there is going to be another attempt to put up another IED and a bomb blast in Shillong in a certain location. The information also is there with us, but we don't feel appropriate to share. The police felt that they need to move swiftly. Otherwise, lives could be lost at that point in time in things. So therefore, in the process, while they moved swiftly, the intention was to arrest the concerned person, and as I said, enough credible information was there on the involvement. A lot of evidence is there, which again is not possible for me to share because the investigation is still going on. And so that credible information, based on that, the move was made. And as I said, the intention was to arrest the person, but the unfortunate incident that happened. We have maintained from day one that Meghalaya government also wants peace and is open to talks with any of the organizations that would like to come and talk to us. But we have always maintained that it must be within the constitutional framework of the country. They must shun violence, and it must be an unconditional talk. So therefore, one cannot come forward, with conditions to the talks. So when we talk, we can discuss things. But before you come to the talks itself, if you come with conditions, then that is something that is not acceptable. So we are agreeable, but as I said, must shun violence, must come without conditions, and must be within the framework of the constitution of the country. So that's our stand, and that's still our stand right now also.
Have you received any letter from the HNLC department? HNLC appealing the
Yes, we had received a letter. I don't have the exact date with me.
16th of January 2021?
Yeah, 16th of January 21. So you knew it, but anyway. So we have received. After the letter was received, we have discussed multiple times within the government, within Meghalaya government, about the letter. And without naming individuals, even in Government of India level, 2 discussions took place at official level. 2 discussions took place with Government of India also regarding the letter that was sent by the HNLC. Based on that, the Government of India has mentioned that some of the conditions that they put in are not acceptable to Government of India, and therefore they must submit another letter without those conditions, and those conditions are the standstill agreement, and second is the instrument of accession. So these 2 should not be there, and this was communicated to them. And after the communication, we were told that they will submit a letter without those conditions and remove all the other conditions and move in the line which we have prescribed, that it should be in the constitutional framework, it should be under without any conditions, and it should be shunning of violence. So all that was discussed, but in the meantime, that letter did not come. And in the meantime, the different incidents started taking place in Cheristerfield Hills. So therefore, at one side, we were receiving this communication, but at one side, the violence was continuing in Cheristerfield Hills. So therefore, it was not clear as to what really was the intention at that point in time. So therefore, that is what happened, and that process was on while these incidents that took place. So therefore, there were channels, and of course, as I said, without going into details of the individuals, so there were channels that were there, and this information was coming in, and we were being told that, as I said, a new letter will come with all the other information. With another appeal without the other terms and conditions. But as I said, that particular letter never came.